Welcome back to my channel, guys. This is Detroit Poker. My name is Brian. Generally I do... Sorry, my dog is walking around. Generally I do poker vlogs where I just talk about hands that I played, mostly just hand analysis. But this video we're going to do something a little different. I decided to make a video series on how to beat 1-2 no limit Holdem and how to improve as a player in that regard. This video series is targeted at people that are having trouble at 1-2, that are break even or losing players, or simply just don't have a lot of experience and they want to better themselves and make them maybe beat the game for a decent rate. First of all, I might as well just post my chart here. Post it right over here somewhere. I think it's right around 23 bucks an hour. I am not looking at it at the moment, but this all started about 4 years ago. I was a break-even, possibly slight loser, possibly slight winner at 1-2 no limit Holdem, and I met a guy by the name of Lot Grinder, who's a friend of mine, and I was seeing some of his posts on 2+2. And for whatever reason, he decided to help me out with my 1-2 no limit Holdem game. And he turned me on to some things. So in turn, I'm going to pass those along to you, at least some of them, not all of it. But so that's where I started 4 years ago. So we're going to go over what I think is the first steps you need to make to beat 1-2 no limit Holdem. So step number one is you need to humble yourself. Unless you have minimum of 600-hour sample size in some sort of an app where you logged all your poker, you have proven nothing. You are not beating 1-2 no limit Holdem unless you can say that I have a 600-hour sample or more that I beat this game. Not, oh, I beat it for the last year or whatever. So humble yourself. Number one, if you want to get better at the game, you got to realize you don't have everything figured out. No one does. Poker is like constant evolution and improvement to beat the game and become better. If you think you're extremely unlucky and things just aren't going your way, I guarantee you you're doing something wrong. I've been there. I've thought the way that you guys may think. So that's all I have to say about humbling yourself. Can't stress it enough. Step number two is you have to be able to assess your current skill level. I think it's fair to say that poker is probably one of the only sports that people overestimate their skill as much as they do. And Alec Torelli made a video about this, and I thought he said it very, very well. So some of this, just that statement alone, came from something that Alec Torelli said. So take a look at his vlog if you want. He does have a good way of saying how people overestimate their skill at poker. So it's the only game where you can win for a fair amount of time and still be playing terribly and not know it. So you're going to have to know that you don't have the game figured out. So right back to humbling yourself. So now if you really want to beat this game and you haven't been able to do so yet, this is what Lot Grinder recommended to me when I came to him and asked him for some help and how to improve. So we're going to start you off with a hand range for 1-2 no limit Holdem. We're not going to get into it. I assume you know the basics about poker, what hands beat what, and how many outs you have if you're drawing, things like that. If you don't know this stuff, like go to your library, read books. I don't know what to tell you, but I assume you know that. So the hands that we will be raising from early position, and just so we're clear, early position is everything until middle position. So if you're seated at a 9-handed table, you're going to have small blind, big blind, under the gun 1, under the gun 2, middle position, hijack, cutoff, button. That's the 9 seats that you have. So early position is everything up to middle position. And the blinds. It's a pretty short list. ace, ace, king, king, queen, queen, jack, jack, 10, 10, ace, king, and ace, queen, suited or offsuit. That's the hands that we're raising from the blinds and early position. So the hands that we are going to be raising from middle position, in addition to the early position and blind hands, we are adding in pocket nines, ace, jack, and king, queen, offsuit or suited. If you want to make the game a little bit simpler for yourself, ace, jack, and king, queen only suited. Okay? But when I started, I raised offsuit from middle position, ace, jack, king, queen, pocket nines. So the hands that we will be adding in for late position, which I didn't clearly define. Middle position is middle position and the hijack. That's middle position to me. Hijack is not late position. Still middle position. So MP and hijack seats are middle position. Late position is cutoff and button only. And the hands that we're adding in for that, in addition to all the others, are ace 10, offsuit or suited, king jack, offsuit or suited, and queen jack, offsuit or suited. This range is straight from Lot Grinder and exactly what I started with. So now hands that we're going to limp in early position, as opposed to raising, would be everything up to and including pocket nines. We are going to limp in early position, and we can limp king 10 suited, queen 10 suited, jack 10 suited, and queen jack suited. So all those hands are limps from early position. Hands that we are going to limp from middle position and late position are 9-10 suited, 8-9 suited, 7-8 suited, and 6-7 suited. Those are the hands that we are going to be playing, assuming no one has raised yet, which will be pretty frequently at 1-2. In the next video, we're going to go over what hands to call raises with and so on and so forth. But this is just a basic guide in unopened pots, pots where nobody's raised. This is the range we're going to be playing. And I would just like to point out that if you think this range is like really narrow and like people are going to exploit you and everything else, yes, you're right. This is a narrow range. It is predictable. But you have to realize that people at the 1-2 level are not wizards. They're not exploiting you. They're not bluffing in spots where they should be because you're predictable. I mean, no one's going to run you over because you play this range. All these people probably aren't even paying attention to the game. You might run across a couple of competents sprinkled in there, but no one's paying attention. Everyone's there for recreation. And many of these players, this money that they're sitting with at this 1-2 game represents a lot of money to them. They're not going to be like bluffing you because they're scared. So just play this range. If you don't have the discipline and self-control to play a set range until you get better at hand reading and better at navigating after the flop, it goes back to humbling yourself. If you can't just sit there and just fold and play only a specific range, like, I don't think you're going to have the discipline to go anywhere at poker. It requires a lot of patience, a lot of discipline, because that is what's going on at every 1-2 table in the universe, is people are sitting there and they're playing way too many hands and they're just fucking calling way too much and giving money away. So if you want to join people in that endeavor of just giving your money away, by all means, play a bunch of fucking hands, queen 5 suited, all this bullshit I see people showing up with at 1-2. Play those hands too. This is all the stuff that helped me improve as a player. And I am not saying that I know everything. You gotta understand that. Like, I don't have the game all figured out. Like, I can beat 1-2, but I could probably certainly do better than $23 an hour. I'm still making mistakes. But this is where I started. So if you want to beat the game, I think it'd be a good place for you to start too. Thanks again for watching, guys. In the next video in this series, we will dive into how to play this range post flop and a little more about certain spots you're going to look for and find yourself in at the 1-2 table. So I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Take it easy.